Hey guys, and welcome to the channel, Quality Shot. As you can imagine, because it's put all over the place, right? It's day 4. We're just going to go over a roundup of the day's action. We had, of course, some huge names in action as always, and I'm really looking forward to this. If you hadn't noticed, actually, the last video I did, the thumbnail was actually pictures taken from whilst I was at Wimbledon. So the Wimbledon sign in the middle of the thumbnail, and also the background is court 1 from whilst I was there. So I thought that was really cool. And obviously, I haven't released a video of me at Wimbledon on day 2. Haven't had too much time at all, really. But once I do, I will be putting something together. Okay, let's get through this because there were some really good matchups, and I was watching throughout the day, and I have to say, some surprises in a way, and also some people struggling where you thought they may not as much. But on the whole, I thought some really good tennis on show. So let's start off with Aliassime, because that was actually the last match to finish, almost in darkness, really, on court 2 against Aryna, the Swedish player, young player, very mobile, very fit, has a little bit of the X factor about him as well, actually. And look, I think it was an extremely good matchup in the end. Yes, the final and fourth set, Aryna kind of just fell away a little bit. But Aliassime definitely had his work cut out for him. I think he was being a little bit erratic at times, didn't look super confident as well. And I think as he won that tiebreak in the third set, he went into the fourth set with this renewed confidence and energy. I think that definitely helped. Losing the second set didn't help, I think. After winning that first set, he dropped off a little bit, but the first serve especially, is a weapon on the grass, man. I mean, it's just such a weapon, genuinely, because he's got big power behind it. Also, hit spots as well, and it's a really repeatable action. So something that he'll be happy with, really racking up the ace count there. So that was impressive. Aryna, look, I'm sure he's got a lot more matches to play. I mean, at these Grand Slams, genuinely, I think he's a good player. I think he's ranked something like 70 something, if I'm not mistaken. He's a better player than that. Beat Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in the first round, coming from 2-0 down to go on to win the match. So yes, Jo-Wilfried Tsonga isn't the player he once was, but that's still a very impressive win on your record. Right, okay, let's go on then. So court 3, Nick Kyrgios versus Major, I want to say, or Mega. My man. Watched him live, and as I've said on the video plenty of times, look, he's a very divisive character, but in terms of the way that he plays and the excitement he brings in the X factor, for me, after Rafa Nadal, he's the guy I like to watch the most. And look, he didn't disappoint today. I thought he was really impressive once again. Look, he was good. He was really good. I went for the underarm serve in his first serves game again after being 40-love up, but it didn't pay off. And look, he's always going to have that little bit about him, but he's super talented. It's just more a question of, can his conditioning, can his fitness hold up? He's got a really, really tough match next against Auger. So Felix, FAA against Nick. Let's see. I mean, it's going to be such a good matchup, I think. I think it could go to 5. Wouldn't be surprised if we see at least a 4-setter. So let's keep an eye out for that. Roger Federer came through classy, 2 classy one-handers in Federer and Gasquet, and Federer did really well in the end. The first set was pretty scratchy, I think, and Gasquet actually, I think, probably played the better tennis. But then the tiebreaker, Federer just raced away. The serve started firing a lot more, and so did the forehand, and he just suddenly found this little bit of just a little bit of form, which he was kind of lacking a little bit in that first set. And in the second and third set, it was a clinic. He just started turning it on, and unfortunately, it was genuinely just a case of Richard Gasquet just being along there for the ride. And there's a reason why he's got such a terrible record against Federer. And he will be just a little bit disappointed with that. Because, I think for him, he loves the grass, made the semis here 3 times, and he's coming towards the latter end of his career like Roger, but obviously hasn't had hasn't scaled the heights like Roger has. So he would have thought this is a little bit of an opportunity to catch Roger a little bit cold, but Federer just found some form. The movement was there, forehand started firing as well, just waving the racket around like a wand, and it was beautiful to see. Gasquet as well does it, especially on the backhand side as well. It's really big at times, and yeah, just really impressive stuff from both players in some of the rallies. But Federer just too much and outclassed Richard Gasquet. So he will progress now to the third round as well. And he will actually face Cameron Norrie, who we'll go on to in a bit. He won today really impressively, and that's a fantastic matchup. Probably will be on centre, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Marin Cilic coming through in 4 sets. Obviously, a lot of people were quite high on him before this tournament because he'd had good results on the grass court swing before Wimbledon. So let's see how he does now going forward, because I think he's obviously very talented, and he's got the game for grass. It's just, can he be consistent? Let's see. Her catch came through in Giron in straights, and a big upset, genuinely. Like, Grigor Dimitrov has got the game for grass, obviously once named Baby Fed, but now he's like 30 years old, and he has, I think it's safe to say, underperformed in his career. He's got a huge amount of talent, just hasn't quite managed to piece it together when it really matters in the big Grand Slams tournaments. Look, I think he's made a couple of semis, but unfortunately just hasn't been able to get and push past that boundary. If someone makes a final in their career, I think, look, at least you've got there. You give yourself the chance. Dimitrov hasn't been able to, and I don't know whether it's a conditioning thing or a form thing, but he doesn't have too long left. He's 30 years old, so I say he doesn't have too long left. These guys are going on until like 40 years old, like Federer, but I don't think he will. I think he'll go on into his mid-30s. So, look, clock's ticking. Let's see what he can do. But a very impressive win for Bublik, who'd never won a match on grass before this Wimbledon. So really impressive for him to then be able to get through, and also get through against an experienced grass court player like Dimitrov. Medvedev against Alcaraz, I was watching that. That was a really, really fun match to watch. I thought Medvedev was actually... he was pushed, to be honest, in that first set. Alcaraz actually managed to get the break back after being a break down at 5-4 it was. Sorry, it was at... Medvedev was 5-3 up. He managed to get it back to 5-4 back on serve. Then he couldn't hold his serve, and that was a bit disappointing. But he's got a lot of tools. He's a bit underpowered on the serve, if I'm being honest with you. Medvedev has such a big serve. I mean, there was a huge difference in golf in class in the serves. But he came to the net, which probably isn't his natural game. He's got a good forehand. Backhand is pretty solid as well. Pretty good touch on the net. He looks a really steely player. And people calling him Rafa 2.0. Obviously, he's not a lefty, but in terms of his demeanor and the way that he approaches the game, there are similarities there. So I can see why people are quite high on this kid. 18 years of age. He'd only played one match on the grass before this Wimbledon. So really impressive to even get through, to be honest with you, to the second round, and then also to kind of push. Really, it was a little bit of a push Medvedev the way he did. I thought was super impressive. So really, really good stuff from the Spaniard. Taylor Fritz, I mean, what a story. I mean, he left the French Open at Roland Garros in a wheelchair, had to have a knee operation, managed to recover and win in 5 sets against his compatriot Johnson in 5 sets. He's got this kind of black legging on. I don't know whether it's for stability or what it's for his knee, but clearly he's fit enough and he played really well. So good to see that. Sonego coming through against Gael in 4. Shardy, after beating 20th seed Karatsev, crashing out to Ivashka. That's a pretty big upset, to be fair, because Shardy obviously with a good win in the first round. Nishikori falling to Thompson, which is a little bit of an upset. I would expect Nishikori to get through, but Thompson is in some good form. So coming through 7-5, 6-4, 5-7, 6-3. And then Cameron Norrie against Bolt looked really good. Genuinely, like the forehands firing, the serve, the lefty serve as well has been very effective. He's good at the net. He's not afraid to come forward. The backhand as well, looking better. Just his all-round game looks pretty good. And Look, you'd think that Federer probably has too much for Norrie. Even this version of Federer, who may not be, uh, you know, the most match fit even, and at this age. But I don't know. If Norrie plays to the near the best of his ability, then it will potentially could be a close match. But yeah, interesting to see where the crowd go for. Hey, with Cameron Norrie and Roger Federer, because you've got a Brit against the 8-time Wimbledon champion. People will be torn. Gael Monfils. Oh man, really sad to see him go. The number 13 seed. Just I want to see him do well, but he just doesn't seem to be able to have the longevity in the slams. Anyway, he lost 6-3, 6-4, 4-6, 7-5 to the Spaniard Martinez. Berretini, winning even 6-3, 6-4, 7-6. Looked really powerful. The serve, the forehand. The only issue I have with Berretini, and I don't know whether it's just me and I'm being a bit harsh, is I don't feel like he is particularly mobile. And when I say that, I mean particularly mobile for this current generation. He looks a little bit plodding at time in his movement. I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me, but that's how I slightly feel about him. I feel like he's got all the other weapons. His backhand is a bit weak, but he manages to mask it by running around it for the most part. But overall, I think he's got a very good grass court game, as highlighted by winning at Queen's. But I don't know. There's something about the movement. Zverev came through in straights as well. He looked good. The serve, I mean, wowee. Serving huge again. And the ground strokes, he's committing to them more. Like I said, where I saw him in the first round against Grykspor, he looked good. And he looked good here again today. Had some sticky spots, but for the most part, was good. Badin came through. Really good win for him. And Garin coming through as well. So it's shaping up nicely, the men's draw. The women's draw is shaping up nicely as well, which leads us nicely onto this. So Emily Raducanu, the 18-year-old, just finished her A-levels in April, and she won 6-2, 6-4, the Brit. How amazing is that? 18 years of age, beating the French Open finalist Vondrousova. Fantastic story, and apparently she only started playing tennis full-time after her A-levels, so she's been playing for only a few months, and she's managed to get through to the third round of Wimbledon. Man, jealous. Some people are just super talented, and she seems like one of them. She's got game. She genuinely does. She looks good on the grass, especially. Interesting to see how she can do on other surfaces, and if she goes pretty deep here, then her ranking will rocket. Azarenka, a little bit of an upset there because you'd expect her to get through, but I did say Cersei would be a hard matchup, and it was in the end. She lost in 3-7-6, 3-6, 6-4. Tomjanovic coming through 6-4-0, 6-6-3. When someone gets bagel and they win it, I do find it hilarious. Coco Gauff beating Vesnina 6-4, 6-3. And then we had Kasatkina losing to Ostapenko. I said that would be a very good matchup, and it was. Look at that, really tight matchup. 6-1, 3-6, 8-6 in the third. So Kasatkina having to eventually surrender to the former French Open champion and still youngster, Ostapenko. She's still pretty young. Kerber coming through in a very tight affair and really, really good match against Sorribes Tormo. Really, I think they ran a combination of 10 miles or something each, or something ridiculous. 7-5, 5-7, 6-4. Really, really good match to watch. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Ash Barty looked class against Blinkova, 6-4, 6-3. And did you know that she's also apparently a fantastic cricket player and golfer as well? So cool as well. Svitolina losing 6-3, 6-4 to Lynette. That's a huge upset. The number 3 seed crashing out. And that's pretty... It's her earliest exit from a Grand Slam in a few years, but I'm not surprised. She just doesn't seem to have that little bit of a mental edge to make it to the latter stages, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a shame. We also had Kostyuk losing, which is surprising. 1-6, 6-4, 6-3 to Sevatsova, especially as Kostyuk had a good win in the first round. That's a shame. But she's showing glimpses of talents. Can she continue in this type of form, but also show consistency? That's where she now needs to adapt and improve. So let's see if she can do it. Clearly got the ability. Badosa Gilbert coming through 6-4, 6-4, and Machova in 3. Pavlyuchenkova winning 6-3, 6-3, really cool against Pliskova. That's Carolina Pliskova's twin sister, who's slightly lower ranked than her slightly better older sister. Oh, not older, sorry. Slightly better sister, even. And Krejcikova, the French Open champion. Roland Garros coming through 7-5, 6-4 against the experienced Petkovic. So the women's draw is opening up nicely. Seeds starting to fall out as well. Not as much as we saw, I think, the Roland Garros in the first few weeks. Well, obviously, Sofia Kenin's gone as well. Svitolina. So I think we've still got the top 2 seeds in. But we've obviously lost a 3rd and 4th seed. Serena Williams is the top 10 seed as well. So yeah, interesting. Okay, should we have a very brief look at tomorrow's matches? I'm just going to quickly pick a few. So let's go for the men's singles first. Taifa versus Kachanov. I'm backing Taifa, actually, to be honest. Fognini, Rublev should blow him away, you'd hope. But again, that could be a really good match. Shorts and Fucsovic, that's a good matchup as well. Evans Korda. That's a test for Evans and for Korda, so that'd be cool. RBA against Kupfer, that's a pretty tight affair. You know, don't sleep on Kupfer. And Andy Murray, the Brit, against number 10 seed Shapovalov. That's a big ask. Andy Murray of old, yeah, no problem. Andy Murray now, I don't know. Let's see. Swiatek, yeah, should get through that. Pliskova should get through that. Sabalenka should get through that. Robbie King against Rogers, that's slightly harder. Muguruza Jabeur, that'll be a good matchup. Mertens, Madison Keys, a good one. Samsonova Stevens, good one as well. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please do remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. The support's been amazing. Keep on. Please supporting the channel. It really does help the channel to grow as well. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, all from me. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Enjoying the tennis, I'm sure, and